What is going on, my beautiful dolls and divos? Welcome to Have Several Seats with your girl, the Queen of Hair Illusions. And in today's episodes, we're going to talk about a fave, something that has taken over and came back in the beauty industry, and that is protective styles. What? Yes. Now, there's nothing new underneath the sun. We all know that, right? Now, in this podcast, I just want to go ahead and give you some insight and some gems on a different perspective when it pertains to protective styles. All right. So, welcome back. If you are returning to Have Several Seats, and if this is your first time, welcome. I am the Queen of Hair Illusions, located in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been in the industry specializing in hair loss, trichology, regrowth treatments, master cosmetologist, and all of that. So I want to talk about this because unfortunately, some protective styles have left some of my beautiful dolls in my beautiful graces to create hair illusions due to the tension. So the reason why I'm bringing this to the forefront is because there is a way that we can all win. Do I got you? All right. So there is nothing new underneath the sun, and wearing braids and twists and low manipulation styles has been around a couple centuries, right? All right, my beautiful dolls and divos. So, what is the origin? Leave in the comments below if you want to go ahead and chime in on this. What do you define as a protective style? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of what we all may or may not know. That is our braids of any form, okay? Twist, your wigs, your sew-ins. Majority of the population consider a protective style as something that is covering up your hair, your texture, to give you length retention, to give you low manipulation, to give people freedom that have curly texture or a lot of density, the ability to not have to always think about their hair all the time, right? Sometimes we wear for vacation. Neither here or there of why. I want to go ahead and talk about the different options that there are out there that we might not all typically consider a protective style. I want to talk about wet work. That's what we used to call it back in the 90s. All right. Wet work is anything with a rod, anything that is going to disturb the salt and the hydrogen bond by using water to change. Is a physical change, basically. To physically change the hair without basically breaking down the strongest bond, the disulfide bond. So when I'm thinking of protective styles, thermal heat is not in the equation. Okay, so a silk press is not what I'm considering as a protective style. Because what is the purpose of protective style? Y'all said it, right? Y'all said it in the comments. Length protection. Okay, we want to protect our length retention. Have several seats. Okay, don't be coming for me. We not gonna be edit heavy up in here. All right. So to help us not have so many split ends, to not make sure we have so many angel knots and things like that. That's when the curls are just wrapping around and you get the little tiny little knots that you be snagging on. All that. All right. So it's giving you a functional look and it's easy. And at the end of the day, it can be abused. Yes, yes. So when I'm thinking about anything on a rod, we're using something like flexis, roller sets, spiral sets, push waves, twist outs, anything like that, stretching, things that you're not doing so much of trying to take your hair from a natural coily or wavy pattern into something that is not intended for it to be, right? And we also want to get a long period of time out of the wear of this hairstyle because guess what? We all know it takes a long period of time. So the sacrifice that we're taking as women who have curls, coils, and waves, we want to go ahead and have a break mentally, okay, from manipulating our hair, brushing it, and all that. Do we agree? Like I got a wiggy on now, okay? I'm trying to grow my undercut. I'm Wakanda out here. I'm trying to grow the sides of my back out, and I'm not trying to cut it again. So that's why I'm speaking on this topic. In moderation, right? In moderation. There's nothing wrong with it if we have a strategy, a regimen, and routine, and some systems that can help us all win. Is that why I listen to? So you stay tuned to this part. We're gonna go ahead and get into the meat potatoes even more because we all understand the origin, the purpose. All right. Now, um, I'm considering speaking about protective styles as not as a way to hide our hair, okay? It's all about preserving it. So we already talked about the covered protective styles, and we already spoke about the non-covered low manipulation. With Taneasha, it's heat. Sitting underneath a dryer, air drying is more safer than putting on a nozzle. And some people are not using nozzle and just directly putting that heat on that area. Circulated heat throughout the dryer is way more gentler, and you just manipulating the hair with products and rods to tell the hair where you want it to go. Okay, so I like to go ahead and say maintenance is key. So we're gonna always do our scalp care. So we're wearing a protective style and we are working out. Do we understand that our sweat is 99% of water and 1% of salt? And if you're not from the east side, we use salt to do what? To absorb, to extract moisture. That is not good if we want to have healthy hair. In order for us to have healthy hair, we have to have what? A healthy scalp. So if we are sweating, if we're having product buildup, environmental buildup, do we think that it's going to be a little bit more difficult for that hair strand to penetrate past that dermis layer to the epidermis layers from what you see? Is it going to be a lot more difficult because it's fighting through all that? So when you have a clean scalp, you're going to have healthy hair. Now we all understand that low manipulation does help a lot of us with length retention, but at the end of the day, it is a bittersweet and not a whole story to that method. Okay, so we all might not understand that we have hair fall. Our hair sheds on a regular basis, 50 to 100 strands. Depending on your genetics, it depends on what stage you have. You have 3 stages of hair growth. All right, your anagen, your canagen, and your telogen. All right, one is active, one is resting, one is transitioning. All right, you're not going to see it with the naked eye. So not one strand is really in the same cycle. So it's really not that noticeable. So when we do our braids or twisted protective styles and say we're keeping it in 2-3 months, the regular hair fall that would happen when you shed, when you brush it or manipulate it, would normally fall and you wouldn't notice it. So that way, when you take out your sew-ins or your weave, you're like, oh my God, my hair is shedding. And the next episode, we're going to talk about the difference between breakage and is my hair falling out. All right. So make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe to your girl, hype me up because I got some gems for you. Right. So when we are going to go ahead and make sure our scalp is together, we should use something that's an astringent. I like to give my clients the notion to use Influence Rosemary Stimulating Spray because it's alcohol free. So I used to say Sea Breeze. You can use at your digression. You might want to go ahead and get witch hazel, something like a toner, something that's not so harsh without the alcohol. So when we get more put on in the industry, we do kind of tweak certain things. Like, remember back in the day when they say drink milk, milk make your life better. You don't see no got milk commercials no more, do you? Because it causes inflammation. It was good at one time, now it's not. So when things change, we just evolving, all right? Boom. Then we want to make sure that we're going to go ahead and shampoo it if you desire to keep it in. My notion is 6 to 10 weeks, a month and a half, 2 months is my kind of go-to. Okay. If you must, the max to me is 3 months. It takes most textures 3 months for it to lock up, right? So when we playing with the notion, yes, you're getting new growth, but if you having all that hair fall in, and then we know when we get that like build up of the product, that white piece, that white film, you kind of taking out the healthy hair along with the hair that supposed to shed, because that hair is not that strong. It hasn't been moisturized. It hasn't had any protein. It hasn't been manipulated. So it's been in the closet. It's been in the closet. I just want to know who's this protective police. Well, who is still on the people's head? Because what we protecting it from for the whole 5, 6, 20 years. It's seasons. So we could go ahead and go with a seasonal approach. I had to put a little comedy in it. You know how I do. All right. Seasonal approach gives you a system that you ain't got to think about. So if you don't know when to get your trim, you got to think about every season. It's 4 seasons out the year. We can get our trim. And when you got your salon home, you shouldn't have to cut more than an inch or two. You should be doing dusting. Okay. When we dusting, we already corrected the ends. The ends is nice and strong. We got a regiment. It shouldn't be see-through. We just doing a little bit, a half of an inch. We ain't doing that much when we dusting. All right. Then we can also think about our lock method. So if you're going to go ahead and keep your protective style in, that's a braid or a twist, I suggest that you shampoo your braids or your protective style, if you have extensions or not extensions, into that style. That way you still are taking care of the scalp and you're moisturizing the hair as well, if you're desiring to keep that protective style in. If you don't like that because the shrinkage is real, then just go ahead and start from scratch. Take out, comb out the hair fall, give yourself a nice protein or moisturizing or reconstructing treatment. Every deep conditioner ain't the same. We could talk about that too in the next podcast, the one after that, okay? Because not all treatments are the same. It's your why. What are we doing to the hair? And you can have too much protein and vice versa, all right? But that's another episode. And then we're going to talk about your winter. So summer could be more of your covered, your protective styles, your knotless braids. And we can talk about knotless braids because knotless braids is good to a certain degree, but with all that product we putting in the scalp that belong on the hair and these sharp, we filing like we in cell block C, we filing the daggone comb to make the part that crisp. Listen, sir. Okay. Listen, sir. If you in my part, and I mean, I know the girls, they be looking because that's all they got to hang on to is the parts. The parts, your most important part in your head. I mean, I'm just saying, get your eyebrow game up or something, because it cannot be that deep. Like, oh, it's 7 over here, and it's Taneasha, it's that deep. No, it's not. Not when we filing combs. No, it's not. Aren't we thinking it's layers to the skin? Aren't we thinking we doing some cutting? You that careful? And I daggone sure don't see no barber side. I daggone sure don't see no barber side, no ship shape. What you mean? I mean, all them dead cells and everybody got to come in shampooed already. But this is why I got a cheat sheet right here. So I'm looking over here. I'm looking at y'all. I gotta stay on. I gotta stay on task. So let me go ahead and give y'all finish y'all nuggets up. Summer, you can wear your knotless braids, your different twists or whatever, because you're gonna be doing vacation. You know, your kids is taking up your expendable income. I know mine is. With all their camps and all their activities. So the last thing you want to worry about is some hair. I don't understand the new school wearing the wigs. You would not see Taneasha Hines wearing no wig and no amusement park, being on nobody's slingshot, embarrassing the race. Okay, sew it down if you must. Okay, vacation hair to me is I don't want to have no flat iron. I digress. And in the wintertime, we can go ahead and do your more moisturized, easier manipulating styles, your flexi rods and stuff like that. Especially I'm in hot Atlanta, so it get hot. So therefore wearing it in the wintertime gives you a little, seasonal approach. All right. So to recap that, if we're going to keep our protective styles in, let's manipulate and change it around. So we're going to do 2 braided styles, or a sewing, or a boho and a wig. After your second install, switch it up to something different. Okay, wear a nice little bun, a twist style, a flexi set, whatever you need to be. Now, Taneasha, what about if I want a silk press? Then I say, do something at least low manipulating a week, 2 weeks. It depends on how you are mentally stuck and dependent on those extensions. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and share this, and this we're going to speak. This is sharing environment. I was on a chokehold that I needed extensions. Extension saves marriages. Don't judge me. Okay. I felt like I looked like the predator without my something in my head. So me, I was baby step. I can do a week. Okay. I could do a week. So if you one of them girls that you can only last a week without your crutch, because your forehead or big forehead is in. But whatever your insecurity is, do a week. Okay, buy your nice little bun, get you the ponytail that's curly with the bangs, do something. Then you go ahead the week after that and wear your silk press or whatever, and then you can go back into a protective style. It just depends on what your regimen is and your lifestyle. For real, if I could stretch you and you got the length together, we doing flexi rods or something. We doing an updo or something. We ain't got to keep on preserving it. What's the point of keep preserving the length when I can never see it? Your hair wants to come aside. She or he wants to play. Okay? It wants the sunshine. Anything you neglect is going to starve. So don't be that daggone busting the social media bricks with your reels and your shorts, talking about, when I went wearing my boho braids for a whole year and I got me a silk press and it lasted for one day. Your hair was just ecstatic. It wanted to touch and reach for the sun. Your hair was reaching for all of the oxygen that the trees had for it to give. Okay? No, your daggone blower ain't gonna last unless she a vet and she ain't 15, 20 years in the game, baby. Yeah. Okay. Keep on going to the blowout ball. I'm the son. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make sure that we keep our installs in for a certain period of time. If we're gonna keep it in past 2 months, we're gonna do what? We're gonna shampoo it. We're gonna do the lock system. Watch the last video, but the lock system is what? We're gonna moisturize. We're gonna leave our leave-in conditioner, and we're gonna do seal it with our oil lock. Okay, we're gonna lock it in. Make sure we're gonna do what? Take care of our scalp at least 2 to 3 times a week. If you're active. If you're not active and you like to go ahead and just scroll, you good with a week because you ain't busting a sweat and you ain't busting no grapes. No shade, have several seats. I'm just the messenger. With all that being said, give your hair a break. Listen to your hair. What's for certain people is not for everybody. Understand by playing with it, you cannot mess up. Just get a routine and a regimen, all right? My beautiful dolls and divos, make sure y'all click into next week. We're going to talk about, is my hair breaking or is my hair falling out? And if so, what to look for, how to treat it, when to go to a professional to address it, and how not to suffer in silence. All right, my beautiful dolls and divos, it's been lovely. I like talking to y'all next time. I'll have several seats. Deuces.